control exactly what people think, and that is our job.
Yeah. Remember, it's illegal to possess these stolen documents. It's different for the media.
I was wondering who did that. Thanks.
Ain't nothing to it. A baby could do it.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
I'm a human being, god damn it! My life has value! It's time to ask yourself what you believe.
Mass murder, torture, perjury, embezzlement, fraud, deception, treason. These are just a few of your many crimes against humanity. You will not win this war, for you are fighting the very essence of humanity.
We make this judgment affirmatively. It will be an entire nation.
What the hell happened to you?
This song's dedicated to my homie.
He is the only one that has died from getting the shot. Now please, you come get your shot so I can protect you from the disease. Have you recently been the victim of vaccine injury? Are you scared of coming forward because you'll be called an anti-vaxxer? Are you experiencing symptoms like paralysis, loss of appetite, diarrhea, long-term death? We'll call our team at 1-800, we told you so. Hey Jennifer!
I tip my 40 to your memory.
Bro, I didn't die from coronavirus.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I promise you I did. I slipped on a banana pill.
You will die
from a bone in my neck.
No,
I Epstein myself.
That does not fit our narrative.
What do you mean it doesn't
We're
fit
adding you to the death toll. Coronavirus.
No.
Dad, shut up. This is death by COVID, cuz.
I Epstein myself.
Shut up. Shut up.
I didn't die from COVID-19. I don't want
Yes.
Don't put me
Yes,
on the death
no.
row.
Now lay your ass down. Lay down. Lay down. Shut up. Lay down. Could you pass on the message for me?
Mama, call me when you get this message. Shut the up right now. But Joe Biden is going to be the next president. Jerome Powell is the 16th chair of the Federal Reserve. He is your president. He gonna take my AR-15 though. That's because you're soft. A man that would hand over his guns to a tyrant doesn't deserve to bear arms. They stole the election. They cheated. It's not fair. Life isn't fair. And the fact that you're emotionally drained over this election lets me know that you will comply with any tyrant they dangle in your face. And if you were as critical of the coronavirus death toll as you are these ballot counts, then we might not be in this situation. So then he goes before Congress and says, there's still a lot we don't know about the virus. And I'm sitting at home going, yo, why the hell are you here? Giving advice on something you know nothing about. You do got a point there, boss. The patriot's blood is the seed of a freedom tree.
Hi guys, welcome to Truther Talk. I'm your host, Verstine Henry. Today's guest is Barricade Garage. I've been watching him for a few months now, and immediately I thought he was so amazing and so genius. He does comedy videos. He's a mechanic. And you know guys, how I feel about artists and how I feel about bringing art, using art to wake people up. So immediately anybody that I find that is excellent at that, I'm like all over it. I'm all about it. So we're gonna begin the interview right now, and I'll be back with my comments afterwards. Hey guys, what's up? I have Mr. Barricade Garage here with me today. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm good. We usually, like, before I start the interview, we have like a pre-talk a little bit. And then he's like, no, you gonna really interview me? I'm like, yeah, I'm a girl. I'm gonna ask you some questions. So here you go. First question. All right. So first of all, I'm gonna blow your head up a little bit. So don't get too big headed. But I think you're a flipping genius. I like the fact that you can make really short videos and make them and educate people and make them laugh at the same time, all in like under 2 minutes. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. It's like a phenomenon to me. Why did you start? Like, how long have you been making videos? Why did you start doing that?
Well, pretty much. Well, it started because I'm a mechanic, so I was doing my fleet mechanic. I'm a fleet mechanic for a company, and in my spare time, I'll make Jeep videos. I'm a real Jeep enthusiast, but I've always been like something inside of me, like, because I'm really an introvert for real, and something inside of me wants to speak out to people, but sometimes I have trouble doing that in a way. So you just I found my own lane with certain skits I started making out the blue, which shocked my subscriber base I had then, that was more auto repair centered. And I just started making skits, political skits, because I seen everything going on, and it was like, it got hard for me to like ignore it and just to keep wrenching. It was like, yo, I want to say something about this. And my way of doing that was to, because I seen the videos, Brandon Tatum, Anthony Brown Logan. I don't agree with a lot of the people I watch, but I learned from their talking points and how their perspective, and I can appreciate that. But I felt like especially my generation, they call it the microwave generation, they don't really connect with people like that, especially when you haven't heard that type of material. Well, not those guys, but some of the other people I listen to, some of the more conspiracy things that are going on. So yeah. I just wanted to do something to keep it short, something that other people can watch and they're like, yo, he's on to something, and send it to their family members or whoever, and it'd be a real digestible video. And comedy is a way to break down barriers that people have or prejudices that people have about certain material, and make them comfortable enough to open up their mind and, take that wall down. So.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question though. Why do you think comedy is such a powerful tool for promoting truth? But you just answered it, and I'm more like that too. Like I talk about like how I started talking about conspiracies, and it's Truther Talk, so I consider myself a truth seeker. And just in this point in history, it's kind of collided with politics because I didn't really talk about a lot of that stuff before, because about the left-right paradigm and all that stuff. I just wasn't really interested. But because everything is so intense now, I felt like I had to say some of the stuff that, like comment on some of the stuff that's going on. I'm more straightforward, but
I see.
I'm straightforward. It's like, I can't, I just like, I'm nice. I'm not mean, but I'm real, like, I'm really direct. But what do you think? Why do you think art is so important though? We kind of touched on that, but like, why you chose comedy instead of just, you could have been straightforward like I am, but you chose comedy and you chose creativity.
Well, basically, the main reason is a lot of the times it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And I feel like we have a lot of talking heads out there that when they speak, they cater to a specific base. Like everybody has their particular base that when they're shown this type of content, they automatically gravitate towards it because they've been either researching it, studying it, already know some form about it. But when you the way I wanted to go about it was like through action, more action based. So like, let's say like liberals, for example, it's like when you see somebody, I feel like they can watch my content and not really. Well, basically, it's like, I don't want to say not get it. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but like watch my content without feeling like
getting offended.
Like I don't know how to explain it, but I just want to put out like digestible content. I felt like we had too many talking heads already, so I just wanted to come to the table with something different to get my message across that'll transcend political parties and ideologies, so we can unite people.
Yeah, it's a culture war. And one of my favorite videos that you did was Unity, where you had like the different characters and you're playing like, you know, the white dude and the gangster, and then you have what was the dude that came out from under the bed or the right?
Yeah, one of them was Monty the mechanic and Herschel, the country white boy. And that's my dragon character. I dress up as a dragon. I had the costume for a while, couldn't return. I was like, I'm gonna just keep it, and it's gonna be a reoccurring character. And I had the gangster character, which is kind of a personification of me already. Well, that is me because I used to gangbang, and so I feel like, and the reason I did that is because I really do want to promote unity. I feel like we do not have to agree on everything to have a common goal. So whereas you may feel like, because I'm not Democrat or Republican, but I work with Democrats and Republicans. Not all Democrats or liberals are for these lockdowns that's going on.
Yeah.
Not all Republicans are. So it's certain things about people that no matter the ideology, political party, you can pick that out and use that to spark unification. And that's what I try to do.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting because I think really most of us, we have a lot in common on both sides. You know, we want to live a nice life. We want, you know, to provide for our families. We want to be able to support ourselves. We want freedom. But, you know, I think I'm always talking about this. I think the media is much to blame in the divide, especially now that's going on in our country. And, you know, they won't even let certain conversations happen because they twist it. You know, right. It's like they're not even letting like a certain side express, you know, their point of view without twisting it. And then the other side gets like, you know, they get defensive and, you know, they're just spreading fear. And that's the way to control people, you know, is through fear. And once you get people in a state of fear, like there's just common sense things. Like I used to be I was a medical courier before I got fired because I wouldn't want to wear the mask. Mm-hmm. And, but it was crazy. Like, you know, the lady was like, I had to pick up some of the tests. I have to pick up specimens. And this lady's like, oh, it's the COVID test. Are you scared or do scared? And I'm like, no, no. She still like was going on for 5 minutes about how she was scared. And I'm like, really, I'm not really scared of a virus that's supposedly deadly to humanity that's put in a Ziploc bag. You know what I mean? Like, it's common sense things. You're just like, if it's so deadly, why are you transporting it in a Ziploc bag? You know, where are the biohazard bins? Why are all the homeless people still alive? They don't have sinks or hand sanitizers or masks, you know? But why did I bring that up? Damn it, I went on tangent again. I was just talking about like common sense, right? Just common sense questions that people can't figure out because they're in a state of fear. And it's really the media that's driving this, where, you know, people are so scared, they're so scared of dying, they're not even living, you know?
So basically with that, it's like, there's been so many holes in this coronavirus situation from the start. For one, I never bought into it.
Yeah, day one. I would just say, well, you know about germ theory. I know your books. I'm gonna ask you about that. Yeah,
I already know about that. And as a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up because
and terrain theory. I mean, you know about terrain. I know because
terrain theory.
Yeah.
One of the most important videos I feel like I did was my the terrain is everything video, because I feel like I was able to take an audience that was never exposed to that and open their minds up to that, because they know I'm a solid individual that does a lot of research. I don't just have books in my videos for no reason. And basically, I feel like I might be programming people the same way they do us in TV. I might make a video that people don't think is intelligent, nothing to do with politics. And in that video, I'll have a book. Like I had Antoine Béchamp versus Louis Pasteur. I had that one in there too.
I know. I was like, what? That's when I really started paying attention. Oh, I have most of the books that you have except Cricket. I have Behold the Pale White Horse. I have the Goodbye Germ Theory. I have that one. I have, yeah. And I'm like, I had no idea Cricket was so large. And I know Amanda Vollmer. So I don't know if other people probably saw it. I sent it, but when I saw you pull up that DMSO book, I sent it to her. I was like, oh my God, girl. I just bought it from her because she just released it. I was like, oh my God, somebody mentioned it.
So yeah, I feel like that was the most important video I did, because I feel like I opened people's minds up to that concept. Now, it's nothing wrong. I love Amanda Vollmer videos. I love what she does, but sometimes she could talk a long time, and I know like people like my nieces and nephews and my mom, they're not going to listen to that.
You have to be a nerd to be,
You really do.
Passion, yeah.
And you really have to have an attention span to grasp that type of material. Not only that, but you got to get over the hump of actually hearing that. If somebody comes out and tells you viruses don't exist, you will be like, yo, a crazy person. You know, you're crazy. Your mind shuts off before you even hear the other side. So I just wanted to do something but when you make people laugh, they'll listen to you. Yeah, so on that video, I pinned a comment that it was actually a well-received video from an audience that's really not that hasn't been exposed to the terrain theory side of things. So I feel like after that video, and then YouTube left it up, I was like, shit, I mean, everything else I do from here on out, it's going to be trivial. I mean, I'm going to keep dropping knowledge, but for real, the terrain theory, that's important for putting a dent, for cracking the facade that this coronavirus New World Order is creating. Once people understand that, they'll understand how deep this thing goes.
Yeah, and I think now people are really hungry for this information. So this is the perfect time, because, you know, if you're not too paralyzed by fear and you're starting to see the holes in this whole coronavirus story, then you know, I don't think the algorithms have a sense of humor. So the comedy is actually, I'm starting to figure out, I think comedy is a really good way to bypass all it doesn't seem like it understands sarcasm or, you know, or even
I'm still a mechanic channel. So all my videos, since I don't want to be discoverable. The people that know me, they know me. The people that want to send my videos out, they do. But I don't seek to go on YouTube and be discoverable with catchy titles. So for my tags, I'll put stuff like Chris Fix, Scotty Kilmer, How to Find a Great Mechanic, How to Be a Mechanic, Jeep ZJ, Jeep Wrangler, what kind of Jeep, what year Jeep. Things that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about in the actual video. And then I'll throw some Grey Poupon on there. And sometimes the subtitles will say he's speaking Dutch or something like that. So that's why I do. I try to scramble it out.
They're like, we don't know. What is he trying to say?
I mean, I don't know, but I'm gonna keep going as long as I keep going. But
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think you said you think you're programming, you don't know, you are programming people, but this is the thing. You can program people to empower them or to disempower them. And you're programming people with knowledge so they can be independent. That's the thing. You want to train people so then they, they get enough, they get filled up, and then they go and they inspire somebody else instead of sucking their energy and sucking their soul. And then they're just depending on you and you're feeding off of that. And that's what the mainstream media does. Right? They don't want people. Because the thing about terrain theory, I don't know if you watch, Robert Scott Bell? Do you watch that show? Or
no.
He's a homeopath and he talks, he has a show and he's a mentor and a good friend of mine. And I don't know if did you know Liam Sheff? Okay, anyway, so they, Liam Sheff really researched the HIV and AIDS thing. And I know about like, Gallo and Robert Gallo and Montagnier and all that and the whole thing, and Anthony Fauci before he was Anthony Fauci now, like that. So I knew about all that. I knew about terrain theory. They had already educated me on that, and I was down that rabbit hole. So when this whole coronavirus thing broke, I was like, for real, really? Like I wasn't even like day one. I was like, this is a hoax. This is not even. I was like, and the thing is, people watch a lot of these zombie movies and these end of the world movies, and they think, and that's how they're programmed, and they're like acting like it's like a zombie movie. It's like an end of the world movie,
But one thing I found strange with it right off the jump, and my nephew did too, and he's not even a conspiracy-minded person, was in the beginning, you had footage of people in China just falling out. People, faces turning blue. It had one security cam footage of a guy just walking down the street. The next minute, he just done. So then they brought it was like, yo, it's a virus going on in China, this and the third. But what was strange was, aside from the fact that the World Health Organization said that there's no evidence of human-to-human transmission, it was like that happened nowhere else. And everybody in the country, Democrat and Republican, was like, Trump was like, it's a hoax. Nancy Pelosi said, oh, go to Chinatown. It's fine. Over there in, what was it, France or Italy? They had people hug a Chinese guy and was like, don't be mean to Chinese people. And then it was like, I wake up overnight and it's the most deadliest thing in the world. Like, you don't have kids because it's going to kill you. Everybody. We have to shut everything down. And I was like, yesterday y'all was saying something totally different. And it's like, that's suspect as hell. So he talked to me about that. I was like, yeah. It's just like everybody got the order overnight. Like, yo, it's like they started falling out in China because of pollution, the mass vaccination campaign they ran.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything else they had going on.
Maybe,
the 5G that they kickstarted, all that happened, and people started dropping, and it was like, yo, you already know the go-to boogeyman is the virus. It's a virus. That's how they explain everything away. So then they use that.
There's so many other explanations. It could have been, not just that, but it's just like the what am I trying to say? But like again, if you know about the terrain, you know that all these things like damage your terrain, so you're susceptible to anything. Yeah. Which to me is very freeing information too.
It really is.
Because I I'm vaccine injured by way of having asthma and allergies and inflammatory issues. And I've also had to like change my diet and eat certain stuff to get better. So I know like how all that works. And damn, wait, I must have turned to that again because I was on a sorry. I'm sorry. Wait, it'll come back to me. I was saying, but I guess me knowing that it's just like, I understand how the body works, and I haven't been sick since, I take vitamin C, I drink a lot of water, I don't cutting sugars has been the hardest thing, but I try and eat vegetables, like all this stuff is very imperative and very important to having a functioning immune system. And it's not rocket science, it's biochemistry. And if these people don't understood these basic concepts, then people wouldn't be able to be manipulated like this. Like nobody would shut down, nobody would be scared, nobody would be wearing a mask, you know. So let me segue. Oh, did you want to say something? I want to segue a little bit.
Nah, go ahead, segue, sis.
All right, okay. So I wanted to know who are your comedy inspirations?
Well, one of my favorite comedians is Cat Williams, but I don't know. I started getting into Vine, like back in 2016 when that was hot.
What is Vine? What is Vine?
Vine is like it's kind of like TikTok now. So then you have Vine stars, and one of the people, he's on YouTube now, is Long Beach Griffey. So I used to watch him.
I'm gonna look him up. Long Beach Griffey.
Long Beach Griffey. He does like the type of skits that I do. He just doesn't go that far with it. And Caleb City's another one. And I used to watch those guys do what they do, and with the camera and the selfie stick, and be like, I can do that too. So that was definitely an inspiration behind that. King Vader, he's another one. And I just wanted to make people laugh, but I just wanted to have an actual message behind it. I just didn't want to do stereotypical things like talk about anime or how hood dudes eat barbecue, or I wanted to talk.
I'm gonna check these dudes out. I love comedy as well, and I think that a lot of the comedy though is just getting very redundant and very dry. And I feel like a lot of people are telling the same jokes, and then a lot of people they're telling the same jokes, and they're also like not just the same jokes, but it's like they're in a certain box, right? Like they won't go far. Like I did this blackface video and people lost their mind. And I'm like, well, you have to put
I see you. And you had that pudding on your face.
It was frosty, okay? But I'm just like,
you Candace Owens. You Candace Owens. You knew you was gonna get backlash for that.
I know.
Nobody criticized.
I wasn't like surprised, but I'm just like, come on, man, it's comedy. But nobody it's like even on the right side, like people don't want to like make fun of people. There's so many people I can make fun of on the right too, and the left, just everybody. I think nobody is beyond making fun of. Even me, people make fun of me. You know what I mean? I think we all have to learn to laugh at each other. But it's like nobody wants to still, like everybody's still just so like paranoid, and they don't want to get, and they'll make fun of like Trump supporters or like right people, but those they can be funny. I don't get offended by those necessarily, but it's just like every comedian still has the same joke. It's not like if you're gonna do that, you got to do it in a way where it's not the same, but it's the same thing and it's the same message, and it's like nobody wants to like, like I remember when the election happened and they had all these videos of people crying and shit. Like that was funny. Like why didn't Saturday Night Live like parody those people? Like they could have, you know what I mean? Like losing them out. Like that was funny. Like I feel like so much good humor is lost because now every humor has become so politicized that you can only stay on a certain side of the scale, where I'm like, this is a time that we need it more than ever. Like Blazing Saddles would have been able to be made today. Or, any of the old Eddie Murphy or Andrew Dice Clay, like none of that stuff. Like people would be like so offensive and so butthurt and traumatized. What are your thoughts on that? Like,
well, for one, it seems like mainstream comedy is Trump. I don't know what they're gonna do when he leaves the picture.
Yeah.
If he leaves the picture, but they better figure it out because everything they do is centered around Trump.
Yeah.
And bashing him. As for like, I'll say YouTube comedians, it's like you got I do what I want for one.
It's so refreshing. It's refreshing, yeah.
If I don't like somebody, I don't like somebody. Like with you and Candace Owens, people was calling you a hater or saying, oh, there's some jealousy there. But you don't have to like everybody. You basically doing what you accuse the left of doing, And that's what I talk about in my videos. You can't, like when I say you can't legislate respect. Like, like, yo, if I don't like Candace Owens, bro, I don't like her. I don't have to like her. So,
but you have to, or the cult's gonna come after you.
Right. So I mean, people should be cool with that. But I say what I want to say. But I didn't want to get stuck in this left versus right paradigm. Take JP Sears, or what I mean, Awaken with JP.
Yeah.
I watch his stuff. I don't really find him funny, but I watch his stuff, and it's like, I mean, he's good at what he does. He has a nice camera, great equipment. He has a team of writers, but it's like left versus right this, left versus right that, compared to his older videos. And it's like, it's like you make fun of the left so much. Ryan Long is another one. You make fun of the left so much, and it's just like a hee ha ha type. I try to stay away from that. Like when they cover fat shaming.
Formula. It becomes formulaic, and then I think the art is lost. That it becomes like really technical, and it's not creative or interesting.
Right. And I just wanted to try to stay away from that and like do different things. But I did notice that when I do talk about those type of political things, my numbers go up. Like when I did the white liberal skit, people love that. But when I talk about some, real educational infotainment type stuff, people really don't want to hear that. They just want to hear a black man's perspective about race in America. They'll watch that, you know, but the other things like, that's a little bit over my head. So it's money to be made doing that, keeping it in the left versus right. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, when I first blew up and I released the When You Join the Wrong Movement skit, it has like 1.4 million views on it. It was a congresswoman in Georgia, Republican. She shared that video and it just gained traction from there. Numbers went up. So I had a lot of Republicans following me because they was like, oh, he's anti-BLM Antifa.
He's a black guy.
Yeah, and he's a black guy. Love it. Let me show my friends.
Like that's kind of like the rage right now. It's kind of like the rage right now. It's cool to be like a black woke guy or a black guy that calls out the left or a black woman that calls out. That's kind of like, but I'm kind of getting sick of that too because I don't want to be pigeonholed. I don't want to be in that thing. People are trying to put you in a box,
I noticed some things changed though when I did the skit on Jewish people. Then Republicans, they were like, oh, when I did that, I noticed my numbers that just started. Republicans love Israel. You can't criticize. I was like, yo, you can't criticize this group of people. Yeah. And the numbers started dropping. It was
kind
like
of hypocritical, right? It's kind of
and then they was like, oh, this ain't your normal. They thought I was gonna be another ABL or Ryan Long just constantly talking about how ridiculous the left is. Nah, I'm gonna get on everybody. So yeah, they was like, yo, we can't, he doesn't toe the party line, so yeah.
Did you ever watch, what are your thoughts on Saturday Night Live? Did you ever watch Saturday Night Live back in the day?
Not back in the day, like around like when I came home, like 2015, I started watching it.
How about Mad TV?
I love Mad TV.
I like Mad TV better. I mean, I like old Saturday Night Live, like the old ones, Eddie Murphy and Steemit. I like those, and then I think there was a period where there was a lot of good women there, like when what's her name, Kristen Wiig was on. I kind of watched it then, but then I really, if I had to try, I would watch Mad TV. I like Mad TV and Living Color.
Yeah, I love In Living Color. I loved it.
Yeah,
definitely.
See that handyman skit, like that wouldn't be able to fly. People would be all offended. You can't do handyman. Handyman, like you can.
A lot of stuff wouldn't fly today. Like people wouldn't make it today.
Yeah, they'd be.
Because I grew up because I'm a '90s baby, so I remember sitting at the foot of my parents' bed on Saturday morning watching In Living Color. I watched all that Mad TV. I used to sneak and watch the Eddie Murphy specials, Mike Epps.
Yeah.
it was a lot of stuff they said that today, like they would be canceled for.
Yeah.
But that's what's dangerous now. It's like there's really nothing you could do. Not to change the subject, but it's really nothing you could do. America done went down that dark road. Once you get the culture, once the culture changes,
yeah,
it's hard to reel that in. Like even if you do take all the commies out of power, that culture in the minds of the youth, bring indoctrination through schools and public schools, it's like it's going to be difficult to really get that back, if at all possible, because the demoralization process has pretty much been complete. And you can see that by today's toxic culture. We don't even have the same values we had just 10 years ago as a culture.
Yeah,
so,
no, you're totally correct. I mean, I'm an artist, you're an artist. I'm trying to like connect with other artists. I really wanna, I think, you know, they're talking about the political war. Yeah, but I think the culture war really is, that's where the souls of people are.
Right.
Right. When you go to in different cultures, the 4 pillars are what? It's like art, religion, science, and philosophy. And that's why, you know, that's why Hollywood is such an important tool with the brainwashing and the mind control, because the art, music, you know, but the thing about like creativity, even with comedy, like some comedy, depending on how literal it is or how verbal it is, but even comedy can cross cultural barriers, you know, art, dance, music. We feel these things. These are languages that you can communicate with people all over the world. Like you ever seen that Eddie Murphy skit or no, I think it was like a Rod. He was like talking about how like foreigners try and do his jokes. They know that it's funny, but they're like, fuck you, Eddie Murphy. Like that. He's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, you know, he's doing that. But even though they're not like, they can't even speak English, they know the comedy, you know?
Right.
They know like that. So I think, you know, I've been thinking about this lately, and you know, I think the culture war may be more important than the war that's going on, because I think the culture war is the thing that can save us, because it can unify people. And you know, even when you're, you know, this is the thing that's making me mad too. It's like, you know, they're trying to politicize even the arts, because the arts and like sports are the one event, even if you have different political values or affiliations, you should be able to go and bond over baseball or basketball or good music and not let them get in the way. And usually if you're in a sense like that, where you are bonding over somebody like that, or bonding with somebody over art or whatever, then you know, you're more likely to listen to their political views, because you know that they're cool, because you have this in common.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even, they're putting a wedge between that. Like we can't even have that like connection with people, which is very, I think it's definitely by design, you know. So
it definitely is.
Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel attached to all of them.
Okay.
But the one character I do that I just be laughing, it's hard for me to not laugh while I do that character, is the Ted Rose Adannon Gabriel.
Yeah.
I be in a room by myself and I just be like, yo, I'm goofy as hell. Like, this is crazy. It sounds crazy. And then he looks funny. And then I feel like I kind of look like him when I put my hair back and I put the specs on. I'm like, and I just get to talking like he does. And then I be listening. I watch the World Health Organization's their live updates, and he get on there and tries to say words and dip it. Like it is like, yo, what are you like, yo, who we talking to? But it's like, it's just hard for me to do him. But I don't know, I like all my characters.
Yeah, no, I like Big Homie Gangster. I like the Jersey guy, the mechanic. Hey boss, like, you know, like cool, like
Boss and Monty.
yeah, the Monty, like I like that, and I like the I mean, I like all of them too, but I'm like, have to pay, like, is the Jersey guy and the guy, the blood guy, the guy that's like, he's the woke gangster, where he's like, I'm gonna grow. He's like, when you're like, I'll pop off on whoever, cause I'm gonna bust up somebody's cat bud.
Radical.
Like, would you want to do that? You go on garden, man.
You're radical home.
Yeah, but you know what? That's real. That's real talk, because you know, it's funny, you have all these people, you know, gangbangers killing each other, you know, the psyop that's making, like, you know, all these people are talking about racism and how you know, like they, you know, they have people scared, like there's a Klan member under every rock and stuff, but the real are the ones that are engaging in, you know, genocide by GMOs and vaccines and all that stuff. When I saw you with the books you were reading, and I know I'm putting you in a box, but I don't see a lot of Black people that are onto that stuff. You know, I think every single person should be onto this stuff, but I think Black people a lot, because, you know, I grew up at South Central. I taught, I see the effects of all the medications, all the drugs, all the vaccines, and how it's having on people's mental stability, their focus, their ability to process information. And I think if Black people really got this on a large scale, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, you know?
Yeah.
So I know I had one on my desk, the Inventing the AIDS Virus, and I love how you throw up a lot of books too. Goodbye Germ Theory. I saw you really heated Elimination DMSO. Goodbye Germ Theory. But what else? I said already. Cricket. Inventing the AIDS Virus. Behold the Pale White Horse. How did you get into, like, what was your awakening moment? How did you get into this stuff? How do you even? Were you born awakened?
Hell no, I went to prison.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Look, no, I'm gonna say, no, for real. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I went to prison in 2011. I did a 5-year bid. That was one of the best things that could have happened to me, because I would have either ended up dead or in there for life. So I appreciate my little stay in there, because unlike other people I knew, it removed me from the world out here long enough to realize what the world was actually like. Sometimes to understand you're in a pile of mess is to get out the pile of mess, and you look back, you're like, damn, it's messed up. So it just started to, and then you got a lot of intellectual brothers in there. And it really starts to open your mind up as you see the nature of people, how people take their freedoms for granted on the outside. I was downloading and processing all of this. And if you want to know what communism is like, you go to prison. You only get 2 flushes on one toilet. You get 2 flushes per hour. And if you flush twice within 5 minutes, it locks up because they want to save water. Sounds like California right now. Everybody, they got toilet paper, they throw it in there. You got to fend for yourself. You got to try to get out there, get your celly, go down there, like, yo, grab some toilet paper. Sound like what happened back in February, April, March. Then you got the commissary. You can't hoard. If you got more food that can fit in your box, they gonna take it because you hoarding. You can only spend so much amount of money on commissary, like $50. Your people can only put so much amount of money on your books. So, like right now, with all this happening, it just clicks for me. Especially, I've been following that stuff that was happening out in California for a while now, and I'm like, yo, I know what they doing. I've lived it. I know what that's like, and I have a Second Amendment, the right to exercise your Second Amendment freedoms to do that, and it's like, I don't want that for nobody. So I decided to speak out about it. But basically, going to prison and seeing the world for what it was, and I got my hands on a copy of Bill Cooper's book, Behold the Pale Horse.
In prison?
In prison. We had to smuggle it in. Look, this is how dystopian it is in there. They have a ban list for prison. Like, you can't get certain books. That book, Behold a Pit, it's on that list.
What else is on the list?
It's a lot of books. When the COs, when they raid your cell, if they see these books, they'll take them. So one of the GDs in there, he had a connection through one of the COs, got the book in there, because they're all about knowledge. They wanted knowledge, and she's like, that's a prized possession. So I got into it with him. I got my hands on the book. That was a whole mess. But anyway, I ended up coming home with the book.
Off?
Huh?
You like ripped the cover off and said you were reading like the autobiography of Malcolm X or some shit? Like, how did you?
No, but it was real. I mean, I ain't really had too many problems like with the COs, but we got into it behind that book. So that's one of my most prized possessions, because I really earned having that book, and I took it home and I was reading it in there, and it was like things just started clicking.
Wow.
And it was like, yo, I couldn't unlearn what I learned. And I came home and just seen everybody, and it was like y'all sleep at the wheel out here. And my journey went from there. As far as terrain theory goes, I was driving one day at work. I had like an hour drive on my phone driving, I know, going through YouTube. I don't know how it ended up in my feed, but it was something about a Woodstock interview radio. This was like last year. Amanda Vollmer, and it was like an hour long. So I passed it a couple times, like I ain't got time to listen to all that. And I was like, yo, she did some hippie chick talking about viruses don't exist. I was like, fucking weird. So you want to click on it. Then what you do, you want to click on it so you can expose the person talking. You be like, let me click on it so I could disprove all her points all the time I could do. And I got to listening, and it was just like, shit just started making sense, you know? Yeah. So I took some of those points so I could come back and be like, nah, you wrong on this. And on my way to research, what you talking about, to disprove it, I kind of found out some stuff that, you know, that you can't unfind out. And it started from there. So she's definitely one of the voices that helped me out with that. And here I am.
Well, dude, I wanted to know too, are you a self-taught mechanic?
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. So since I see you reading a lot of books that involve understanding biology and the human body and how that works, do you see the parallels between the human body and mechanics because of that knowledge?
I see, and I even see
the. Go on.
Yeah, and I see the parallels between that, and I even see the parallels between mechanics and doctors.
Yeah.
For instance, when I was talking about hypochondriacs, you'll have a perfectly healthy person, and they'll go to the doctor. The doctor will tell them something, and they freak out, and like you can make yourself sick. Like, same thing mechanics do. Dirty mechanics. There's a lot of them out there. Your car be perfectly fine. You'll take it to a mechanic. He'll be like, yo, this is wrong with it. This is wrong with it. And it's like, yo, you trust the experts, don't you? And they're like, yeah. Next thing you know, you went to see the mechanic because your serpentine belt was squeaking. Next thing you know, he tell you it's because your transmission is messed up. So that's a $3,500 job. And you like, yo, I came to you for a headlight. And you tell me my transmission is messed up.
Wow, that's so true.
Like, yo, that's mechanics. That's what they do. So I hear people say, trust the experts. I'm like, I'm a mechanic, though. I know how the game goes. People are in it for money. So, but yeah, in general, there's a lot of similarities between the human body and vehicles.
And you know, it's so funny. Where's my book? It's my other book. okay, I don't have the book that I'm reading. I'm reading, there's this book called The 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television. You might want to, that might be up your alley, but this guy used to be in advertisement. Now he's just like, yeah, basically he brainwashed you and stuff. But he mentioned that in the book, and I read that today. He was talking about he put doctors and mechanics in the same category. And he was saying like the experts, because people go to them because we have no knowledge of like, you know, how our bodies, and we have no knowledge of our cars. And I think this is something we both should, I mean, I guess you'd be out of your job, but at the same time, you know, people should know at least basic things maybe for their car to help it keep running, you know, and your body too. Like if you knew certain things, you wouldn't get sick as much. You wouldn't have to go to the doctor as much if people understood, you know, how their body works. Most people don't even know like where their liver is, where their heart is, what's, you know, just simple stuff. Like it's mind blowing. And then I think one was, so I wanted to know, what do your family and friends think about your videos? Is Christmas going to be awkward?
No. I'm well respected in my family. So, I mean, it's pretty much what I say goes, but I get people that look at me like, here he go again. But it's never nothing like confrontational. Well, you shouldn't think this way. Like people will listen to what I have to say. Partly due to my character and my nature as a person. Like if people know me, you know I'm not the type of person that'll sit there and BS you on nothing. And as far as I mean, I like to think I'm a real respectable guy. Like if you meet me in person, you wouldn't want to, even if you disagree with me, you wouldn't want to, not the type of guy you would want to walk up and call a coon.
Oh, you're like, I'm in the prison.
I don't get that. Like usually people will listen, and I really don't argue with people. I'll listen to their side. And I feel like the more I listen, the more I grow and understand why people think and feel the way they do. And I feel like that data is necessary to help me reach people. So
wow, you're very wise. You're very wise. You are.
Thanks.
Do you think that you're wise?
No, man, I'm just a dude.
Yeah, but you know what? I think those are the wisest people. Like I feel like, I know I can be a little bit cocky sometimes, but I also feel like I have so much to learn. I feel like I'm never learning enough. You know, like
we never do.
Yeah, you know, like you learn one thing, because I'm sure even talking about like when you were hearing that thing about Amanda and the viruses, and you're thinking you're gonna prove her wrong, and you're like, damn, like just a whole nother like portal opens up. And you're like, damn it. Like I thought I had it down. Like, dang, there's so much more to learn. There's so much more.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I just wondered, did you get hate messages? Are people offended by your videos as well? I think mostly everybody like loves you. Like my friends love you. My friends send me to you. My friends were sending me to you, and I already started watching you. But I'm like, yeah, I know this dude. Oh, you know this dude. Oh my God, you know.
So, no, I don't get hate. I don't get hate messages or anything like that. I feel like for the most part, people understand where I'm coming from. Like even when I did the terrain is everything video, I had like, I think it was like a doctor or some biologist or some dude. He came in the comment section and he disagreed with me, but he was like, I'm gonna check out that info, but you should know this, that I get like snappy people. They don't really attack me, but they just like the content, but I don't really get that though. So
but you know what though? That's so amazing, because even you have somebody that's in biology, he likes you well enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna look into this. You know what I mean? He got his attention. Where maybe I'm too straightforward. I don't. But no, now I think people are starting to, especially with the coronavirus. I'm lying, but before, years back in the day, I would get like death threats and rape threats and
see you. Damn. But you've been at it a lot longer than me, so I mean, for real, coronavirus made it easy.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to look under, you don't have to flip over no rocks. You don't have to. I mean, it's blatant. It's in your face. They lie to you every day. People see it, and even a lot of liberals are like, "Yo, this bullshit." Like if I be going on MSNBC, CNN, be reading their comments, and people are fed up. They're like, "Yo, all right, so how come people can go to George Floyd funeral, but my grandma died? I can't go to her funeral."
Yeah.
You know, people just started making the connections, and intelligence just came together like butt cheeks. It's like, yo, they put it out there. They make it easy for you to understand that they're jacking you off. Like it's too easy. This isn't a 9/11 where you gotta go dig and do some get the book. No, it's right here.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah. What do you have any hope for humanity? Do you think enough people are going to become hip to what's going on for us to thrive in the future?
Yeah, I do have hope. I have hope for humanity. I certainly do.
Yeah.
I seen you did an interview with Anomaly.
Yeah.
And I'm subscribed to High Impact TV.
Is that High Impact Vlogs to do with the beard?
Okay. Yeah, but they took that down. High Impact TV now.
They took it down?
Yeah, they took High Impact Vlogs down, but he got another channel, High Impact TV.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff he says, I agree. I'm gonna just give you a classic example of unnecessary things that keep us from reaching our goal, which is to. Anyway, so Anomaly, High Impact TV, Brian, he says, yo, I'm gonna have this debate with Anomaly. Anomaly comes on, they get to talking. They have a lot of the same talking points. And right, High Impact TV, he's like, yo, you vote. He doesn't vote. You vote. That's a problem. Now, Anomaly's out there. He's at protest against lockdowns. He has a website for
exposelockdown.com.
Yeah, he has a website going on. I mean, he's out there in the streets, right? So it's like, I don't agree because I don't vote. Like people ask, I don't vote. But at the same time, I don't believe that your vote count the way he was making it out to seem. But I feel like that's a difference. This pretty much that doesn't hold no weight, because at the end of the day, he's against tyranny. I'm against tyranny. So us discussing this is just creating a divide. And then you can see the two subscriber bases kind of going at each other. I'm like, yo, this isn't good for us.
Yeah.
So I feel like that type of stuff needs to be cut out. For me, when I say unity, I mean unity. They showed on Reuters news channel, the commies, like communists, were in the street protesting the government over lockdowns. I work with liberals, Republicans, gay, black, white, straight, flamingo. I don't care who you are. If you against this BS that's going on right now, you my brother. Welcome to the resistance. Yeah. Everything else, it really doesn't mean nothing. It's just an artificial divide.
Wow, that's really deep. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to stop right there. That's it. I like it. This is great. I can't wait to put this up. Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, and that's it. Is there anything you want to promote, by the way, or I'm gonna put your links in the bottom, of course. I'm not gonna, to your channel.
Man, I got a YouTube channel. I feel like people know that, but nah, I mean, I'm
all right.
Checking it out.
Any books?
Huh? Any books?
Yeah, any books in the works?
No. I
you don't
not
have
at the moment.
Oh, you're like, oh, I saw a light bulb go off. You're like,
Yeah, I might have to. I feel like I have a lot of information I do want to share and get out there to people that may or may not make a difference, but I have a story to tell.
It would be cool if you like write a book and then you get it into prison and then it's on the banned book list and everybody's trying to get your book because it's so full of knowledge, it's banned, but then people still read it anyway.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then there won't be any gangbangers. People will wake up, start growing GMO gardens. And
hey, that'll be crazy. But yeah, I want to reach. I feel like I have reached with that whole gang community, being as though I used to be a part of it. So I feel like I'm somebody that would be listened to. Well, I am. So I got certain homies that I can talk to, pick up the phone and talk to them and help them through understanding what's going on, and they get it. And they talk to other people about it. So I'm not plugged into this well-knit, suit-wearing community. I'm like kind of gutterish, you know, like I've just been there. So
but that's real talk, and that's real people, and that's the soul of this country. It's like my friends and I were talking about, even with the whole kind of like deplorable situation, the middle country, they're like the media is now they're treating the people in middle country like they used to treat the gangbangers and stuff like that, you know? Mm-hmm. Those are the people who are the heart and soul. They know how to make things, they know how to build things. Like you're out there living life, you're building cars, or not fixing cars, you know how things work. And then we have this other set of society who they have these ivory tower professions where they think that they're smart, but they're not as smart as they think they are. And they want to tell everybody else how to run things. But if shit hit the fan, all they have to eat is their iPhones, you know? They'll be the first ones to go.
That's all they're gonna do. I was watching Resident Evil. I watched that whole series the other day, and I was like, yo, shit hit the fan. It's gonna be a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people don't have no skill. I mean, I would want a mechanic. Yeah. Somebody with a trade that knows how to do things. You need some welders, electricians, plumbers. Yeah. Very important. Shout out to the plumbers.
Yeah. But, they actually cure more disease than doctors do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I'm not even being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Mr. Garage. Thank you so much for coming on. All right, guys. Love y'all. Peace, truth, and love. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. Okay, guys, that video was off the chain. I loved it. Had so much fun. It was really great. I found some things about him, you guys did too, that I didn't know. I'm not gonna say it in case y'all lazy people like just fast forward to the end of the video so you can see what it's about. Watch the interview. But it really is cool to pick people's brains and see where they're coming from. You know, I love his stance on comedy and waking people up and how to use humor to get into people's souls and psyches to really, you know, get information to them. He was saying that he felt guilty that maybe a little bit that he was like brainwashing people. But I mean, everybody's brainwashing people to a certain degree, but you can either brainwash people to be empowered and be independent eventually, or you can brainwash people to be dependent on you. And that's usually what everybody else, the evil side, I guess, so to speak, or the mainstream media does, right? They don't want people thinking for themselves. So he really is passionate about getting people to think for themselves, about getting information to people, and also just having fun. So please follow him. I'm gonna leave some of my favorite episodes of his in the description, and then you'll be able to go to his page and subscribe to this guy, give him support. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace, truth, and love, guys. Bye-bye.